Jai Shri Gurudev. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel Janasnehi Edu Help Desk. So this is your Ravi, an assistant professor. In this video, I am going to explain the topic risk and related terms. Risk and related terms like peril, hazard and so on. Kindly do subscribe to our channel and comment and like and share the video. Yes. So before step into some related terminologies regarding with risk, we should understand what is the risk is. What is the meaning of risk? See, in our day-to-day life, there are many circumstances where we have to take risk, right? Which involves exposure to loss or danger or damage or whatever it is. And risk can be understood as the potential of loss. It is not exactly same as uncertainty. Okay, so here I have mentioned the meaning of risk. Risk is a possibility of damage, injury, loss or any other negative occurrences that is caused by external or internal vulnerabilities, that is inability or weakness. So here a risk is a possibility of damage. So whatever the possibility which is going to be damage us, damage the things or property, whatever it is, and injury which leads to injury to the human being or to the assets or to the property, and by that we'll get a loss or any other negative occurrences. So the two which will caused or which is caused by internal and external possibilities or inability or weakness. So that is what the meaning of risk is. Okay, next we'll move on to the definition of risk. See, it is defined by Manson and Savanan. So according to these two authors, Manson and Savanan, risk is the potential of losing something of value against the potential to gain something of value. See how no, they defined the risk. The risk is the potential of losing something of value against the potential to gain something of value. That values such as physical health, social status, emotional well-being, or financial wealth can be gained or lost. So here, one, you have to understand that in order to gain something, we may lose something. Okay, or we have to lose something. Whatever the activity it is, whether it may be a financial activity or it may be any other a natural like economical activities or non-economical activities, whatever. But in order to gain something, you should ready to lose something. Okay, so as per the authors, the risk is the possibility of losing something of value. There is a possibility that you are going to lose something in order to get or gain something of value. That value may be a physical health. See, in order to gain physical health, so you have to lose your money. Okay, you have to spend your money for the gaining of your physical health, right? And next, for the social status, in order to live like a legend or live like a king, so you have to spend money, you know. So in order to gain a social status, you have to spend money. And emotional well-being, so in order to be in a happy mood, happily living, it is like losing the other social status or other money aspect or financial aspect. Okay, so for the emotional well-being, okay, so in order to live our life happily, so we need to lose something, that may be amount or that may be money or any other social status, whatever. Okay, so that, so in order to gain something, so you have to lose something of value. Okay, so this is what the definition given by Manson and Savenan. Okay, so that's well said by those authors. Next, we'll move on to uncertainty, peril, hazards. So these are the related terminologies of risk. Okay, so let me explain one by one. The first one is uncertainty. Uncertainty. See, so this is a situation where possible outcomes or probability of outcomes is unknown. In other words, or in simple words, we can say it is a situation where the future events are not known. So, uncertainty, which implies the absence of certainty of the outcome in a particular situation. There are instances wherein uncertainty is inherent with respect to the forthcoming events. That is, there is no idea about it of what can happen in a next minute or next day. Okay, so uncertainty means it is a situation, okay, where a possible outcomes, so the two are unknown, or a probability of outcomes is unknown. Okay, so that situation is like so we can't assume or we can't predict the future. Okay, that is what uncertainty is. See, then what is the difference between these risk and uncertainty? See, in short, risk describe a situation in which there is a chance of loss or danger. Conversely, uncertainty refers to a condition where you are not sure about the future outcomes. Very clear. Okay, so risk is known and uncertainty is unknown. See, we use the terms risk and uncertainty in a single breath, but have you ever wondered about their differences? Well, so this article or this video, in this video I'm explaining even the difference also, difference between risk and uncertainty. Okay, so let me consider some points in order to compare these risk and uncertainty. See, if we consider the meaning, the risk means a probability of winning or losing something worthy, and uncertainty in the sense it is implies a situation where the future events are not known. And the risk can be measured in any terms, but uncertainty cannot be measured. You can't measure that uncertainty. And even chances of outcome are known in case of risk, but the outcome is unknown in case of uncertainty. So even we can control the risk. It is in our hand. We can control and we can mitigate the risk to the extent, but uncertainty is not in our hand and we can't control it. It is uncontrollable. And even risk can be minimized by using some techniques. We can minimize. Okay, so we can predict so that we can minimize the risk, but uncertainty cannot be minimized. Okay, and probabilities can be assigned in case of risk. Probabilities can be assigned, but we can't able to assign a probability in case of as an uncertainty. In case of uncertainty, we can't assign any probabilities because the future is unknown. Okay, so this is what the difference between risk and uncertainty. Okay, and next we'll move on to the next terminology, that is peril. Okay, peril. See here, a peril in the sense it is a cause of loss. Peril means it is a cause of loss. Peril is the possibility of cause that exposes a person or property to the risk of injury or damage or loss. So it is the cause of loss, reason for the loss, and it is a possibility possibility of that reason for the loss, and which will expose a person or an individual or an asset or a property to the risk of injury or the risk of damage or a risk of loss. Okay, so we can give an examples for a perils like fire and smoke, lighting strikes and explosion, vandalism and malicious mischief, theft or falling objects. So we can give n number of examples for a peril. Okay, uh, let me go for some types of perils. So here are some types. Firstly, natural perils. The first type of peril is a natural peril. See here, natural peril in the sense, natural perils are those perils on which people have a little control. See, in the natural peril, in case of natural perils, people have some control on it. Okay, so already told peril in the sense cause of loss. Okay, or possibility of cause, or possibility of loss. So here we can have a control. We can have a control on peril. So what will happen next? So we can predict that. So peril can be predicted so that we have a control on it. So that is what natural perils. And next, if we go to a next type of peril, that is human perils. Okay, human perils includes causes of loss that lie within people's control, like terrorism, war, theft, environmental pollution, etc. So here human perils also can be controllable, and that is within the people. Okay, so that laws that lie within the people, that people can control it. Okay, terrorism can be controlled, war can be controlled, theft can be controlled, and environmental pollution can be controlled. So this is one cause of loss. Okay, so human perils that we considered as a human perils. Okay, which includes cause of loss that lies within the people control. Okay, and next, if we go for next type of peril, that is economic perils. It is related to economic activities and economic aspects, financial aspects. Economic peril causes loss due to changes in economy, like changes in customer taste and preferences, technological advances, currency fluctuations, and so on. So here economic perils in the sense cause of loss due to economical changes or changes in economy. Okay, so if customer taste and preference changes, so demand for the product will be reduced. If technological advances, if technology advances, so that also leads to economic perils. Okay, even currency fluctuations in the country also leads to economic perils or cause of loss. So loss due to changes in economy. Okay, maybe that may be inflation, deflation, whatever. So all economic conditions in the country leads to loss. Such losses or cause of loss is considered to be as economic perils. Okay, so these are the different types of perils. Next, we'll move on to the next related term of risk, that is hazards. Okay, hazards in the sense it is a condition that increases the possibility of loss. Hazard is a condition that increases the possibility of loss. Okay, so here so we have understood risk, peril, and uncertainties, right? So the difference also we understood. See, in simple terminologies, risk is simply the possibility of a loss, but a peril is a cause of loss, and a hazard is a condition that increases the possibility of loss. Okay, see, if for instance, fire is a peril because it causes losses, right? While a fireplace is a hazard because it increases the probability of loss from fire. Okay, so no some things can be both a peril and a hazard, like smoking for instance causes cancer and other health issues also. Okay, while also increasing the probability of such issues. So that is what difference between these hazard, peril and risk. So we'll move on to the next topic, that is types of hazards. Okay, so types of hazards. So we have different types of hazards, in which first one is physical hazards. So here physical hazard refers to a physical condition or tangible condition that increases the possibility of loss. I already mentioned that hazard is a condition that increases possibility of loss. Okay, here physical hazard is a condition where a tangible, that increases the possibility of loss, the to physical damage. For example, smoking is a physical hazard that increases the possibility of house fire and illness and health issues. And if we take another example, slippery roads, which often increases the number of accidents, right? So that is what physical hazards, so which leads to a physical damage, the conditions which leads to and which increases the possibility of loss, the two physical loss. Okay, uh, next if you go to next type of hazard, next is moral or legal hazards. Okay, see here moral hazards are losses that results from dishonesty and fraudulent activities of an individuals. So here moral things are legal hazards related to dishonesty and fraudulent activities of an individuals. Okay, it is related to an ethical terms. Okay, so ethicalness of people. See, more like if you take an example of insurance company, if insurance company suffers a losses, so that too, because of fraudulent claims, so that is what moral hazard. If they are good in ethical system, if they are following good ethics in a insurance or insurance claims, if they are not involved in fraudulent claims, so definitely they'll get profits. If that insurance company involved in fraudulent claims, definitely they will get a loss and they will suffer losses. So this is what an moral or legal hazards. If any company or institute or any a person, not following any legal or moral rules and regulations, so definitely they have to face future consequences in a legal terms. Okay, that loss or that hazard or that condition which increases the possibility of loss is considered to be as moral or legal hazard. Okay, next we'll move on to the uh, next type of hazard, that is moral hazards. Moral hazards, so it is different from moral hazard is different from moral hazards. Here moral hazards are losses that do not involve dishonesty but arises attitude of carelessness and lack of concern. Moral hazards due to a dishonesty and fraudulent activities, but here moral hazards is due to carelessness attitude and lack of concern. For example, careless cigarette smoking leads to injury to the health. Okay, so this is about different types of hazards. Okay, hope you understood about these risk and related terms. Okay, so in a simple terms, so we can consider as a risk is a possibility of loss, and peril is a cause of loss, and hazard is a condition that increases the possibility of loss. Hope you understood. Thank you all. Jai Shri Gurudev.